Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here for Shimmerz Paints Design Team, and I have another layout here for you today. I have some scrap paper that I'm going to be using up today, as well as prepping some white cardstock here with some clear gesso. I like to use clear gesso on my white cardstock so the colors don't variate or anything weird happens. So I have let that dry a little bit, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add some water directly to my paper using my paintbrush to start around where my pattern paper is going to go. I am just using this in the square that I have. It's just a scrap from my stash that I used from a previous layout, and I am just using up the little bit that I have left. So I just wanted to add some mixed media around this square. So I've pulled out some sunflower shimmers in the little pot here. You don't have to do anything to get these ready to go. All you have to do is give them a little stir and they are ready to add to your paper. You can see mine's pretty pigmented there because I just left it on there pretty thick. But if you add a little bit more water to this, it will lighten them up a little bit more for you or make them a little bit more transparent so you can see through them a little bit better. But I wanted mine to be kind of thick on here, and I wanted to blend this yellow and the blue together to make kind of a greenish shade to go along with the green in my background. As you can see, I'm just using my paintbrush and just kind of splashing it on there, and then using some of my water also to add some splatters with the same colors, just kind of flicking on some colored splatters and some water splatters too, because the water will react to your paint and it will break them up and create kind of like a marbleized effect, which I love. So this is pretty much what it's going to look like. I'm just going to let this dry a bit and see if I need to add any more color or come back in with any more splatters or anything like that. And I'm just kind of pulling that out with a little bit of water just to make it a little bit wider there so my square doesn't cover up all of that lovely mixed media. But that's pretty much what it's going to be. Super easy and simple. It adds just a little touch of those paints to your layout. And it's just an easy way to enhance any pattern papers or embellishments that you already have in your stash, which is something that I'm trying to do lately. I really need to do some deep diving into my stash and try to use up some of these goodies, like this scrap that was just laying on my desk for a while. So I'm happy that I'm actually diving in and using up some of this stuff along with the new. So I've got this book fair collection that I'm going to be using as well, along with this old scrap that I have and this photo of my two boys on their first day of school last year. So I'm just going to pull out the sticker sheet from this collection and use some embellishments from my stash. And I just really wanted to enhance my photo here, make it kind of the star of my show, along with the mixed media kind of popping out behind my pattern paper there. I'm also going to pull out my sewing machine and go ahead and do some machine stitching along some of these lines just to bring out some more black into my layout, and also just to stitch along those lines. I just love how that kind of enhances papers that are striped like this to do some stitching along them. It just creates a really, really cool effect. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here in a moment. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my manual die cutting machine and just run one of these border dies that I have from Hey Little Magpie through here so that I have a little kind of ripped tablet paper effect on the left side of my photo. I was going to put it on the right side, but I opted for adding it to the left instead because I wanted to add some other embellishments in my title on this right side. So I'm going to go ahead and get that put away here, and then go back to my layout. As you can see, the machine stitching is done at this point. I did that off camera because people tend to get a little bit bored whenever I do the machine stitching on camera. So I did that off camera. I just have a Brother sewing machine. Then I just ran that through with some black thread. I usually just use the Coats and Clark's thread from Walmart, which works perfectly fine for paper. So I have an acrylic piece from Color Cast Designs that I'm using on this one today that says, "Oh, happy day." And I thought that was just perfect for their first day of school because they were both pretty excited. And then I've just got some embellishments that I've grabbed from this sticker sheet here from that book fair collection, and then also from my stash, doing a little bit of stash diving. So the Shimmerz colors that I've used today was, the yellow one was called Sunflower. That was a Shimmerz product. And the other Shimmerz one that I used in the pot was Peacock's Plume, which is that bluish color. And then I am going to go in and add some kind of black or some dark dark with a Vibez, which is in a bottle, and it's called Don't Rain on My Parade. And I will list all of these products down below for you as well, so you don't have to remember all the names if you don't want to. I will list them down below for you, so you can just click on the shop link from my description. It'll take you right to the website, and then you can add those to your cart. But make sure to use my name Jessica in the notes section of your order, because then they will send you a free gift along with your order, which is always a really good gift and a really fun paint color. So you'll get a good one. You always do. And it's funny because I have never received the same free gift twice. Like, it's always one that I don't have in my stash already, and I don't know how they do it. But I guess Shimmerz has a lot of products in their inventory, so maybe that's how they do it. But if they're looking back on what I've ordered in the past, maybe they're doing that as well. I'm not sure, but for some reason I have never gotten a duplicate color, and I think that's awesome. So I'm just going to continue adding embellishments to this one and just enhancing my photo at this point. Again, I don't want to add too much to my photo because I don't want to take away from my cute little boys here, but I do want to embellish this up because you guys know I'm a heavy embellisher. So I'm just going to keep adding a few things here. I've added my acrylic title piece down with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. I know that's going to dry up clear, so I don't have to worry about making a mess with it. My two boys were actually just in the room making a bunch of noise. You can probably hear them now, but I think they're heading out to have garage time with their dad, so maybe we'll have a little bit of peace for a few moments. Baby girl's actually napping right now, so I thought I had a couple moments to myself to edit some videos and do some voiceovers, but then my boys came in the room, which is usually how it goes. So I'm just going to finish this one up. I'm going to add some thread in here. I just grab a nice handful, kind of drop it into my hand and twirl it around. And then I'm just gluing down a couple of these tails so they kind of look like they're curved around and just kind of funky and different directions. I just like the way that looks, and I think it just adds to the layout, the chaos of this layout. It has kind of a lot of things at this point. I was really trying to stay minimal on this one, but I ended up adding quite a bit to it, but that's okay. It's kind of chaotic, like honestly, like my boys are. They're like little tornadoes, and that kind of matches their style. So this layout is really on point for them. So I'm just gluing down the rest of these tails and anything else that I need to glue down. I'm like really at the end of this bottle, so it keeps clogging up on me. So I just keep a corsage pin handy and just poke the tip whenever it does that. Here is that Vibez Don't Rain on My Parade coming in. I'm just taking the nozzle off and just splattering some of those dots and drips onto my layout. And then, oh, there's my son's little drawing. He drew me a little Christmas tree. I don't know why it had antlers, but you know, it's his tree, so he loves it, and I do too. So I'm adding these couple little tags at the top, and I'm just gonna distress those a little bit and add those here at the top, and then add some twine. So here is the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today. Again, feel free to use my name Jessica in the note section of your order if placing an order on the Shimmerz Paints website, and you'll earn a free gift. And I hope you guys enjoyed this today, and thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.